is going to be an unintelligible slash inaudible whispering video. And for that, I will be reading some pages out of this book. It's less than zero from Bret Easton Ellis. And I believe it's time to start. Let's go. I'm lying in bliss, bed. The roll is stuffed animals on the floor and at the foot of the bed. And I roll over onto my back. I weigh something out and covered with fur. And I return to myself and it's just stuffed blanket. I drop it on the floor and then get up and take a shower. I've toweled my hair dry. I wrap the towel over my waist and walk back into her room. Start to dress. Blur smoking a cigarette and watching MTV. The sound turned down low. Would he call me before Christmas, she asked. Maybe. I pull on my vest. I wonder if it even came into the first place. You just take up my number, don't you? To reach for a bed to begin to write it down. Dear Blair, I've got your number. I'll get in touch. I button up my jeans and turn to leave. Clay. Yeah, Blair. If I don't see you before Christmas, she stops. Have a good one. I look at her a moment. Hey, you too. She picks up the stuffed black cat and strokes its head. I step out the door and start to close it. Clay, she whispers loudly. I stop but don't turn around. Yeah. Nothing. It didn't rain in the city for too long and Blair would keep calling me up and the bit of the trouble to get together and go to the beach club. A bit tired, I was turned to wasted to get up in the afternoon to even go out and sit beneath the umbrellas in the hot sun at the beach club with Blair. That the two of us decided to go to the bar in Monterey, where it was cool and where the sea was shimmering and green, and my parents had a house on the beach. We drove up in my car, we slept in the master bedroom, and we drove into town and bought food and cigarettes and candles. There was nothing much to do in town. An old movie theater in need of paint and seagulls and crumbling ducks, and Mexican fishermen who whistled to play, and an old church that I took pictures of but didn't go in. We found a case of champagne in the garage and drank the whole case that week. We'd open a bottle usually in the late morning after we went along the beach. In the early morning we'd make love either in the living room or if not in the living room, then on the floor in the master bedroom, and we'd close the blinds and light the candles we bought in town, and we watched our shadows illuminated against the white walls move, shift. The house was old and faded and had a courtyard and a tennis court, but we didn't play tennis. Instead, I'd wander around the house at night and listen to old records of Used to Like and sit in the courtyard and drink what was left of the champagne. I didn't like the house that much, and sometimes I'd have to go out into the deck at night because I couldn't stand the white walls and the thin Venetian blinds and the black tile in the kitchen. I'd walk along the beach at night and sometimes sit down in the damp sand and smoke a cigarette and stare up the lighted house and see Blair's silhouette in the living room, talking on the phone to someone was in Palm Springs. When I came back in, we both be drunk and would suggest that we go swimming, but it was too cold and dark, and so we'd sit in a small jacuzzi in the middle of the courtyard and make love. During the day, I'd sit in the living room and try to read the San Francisco Chronicle, and she'd walk along the beach and collect seashells. And before too long, we started going to bed sometime before dawn, and then waking up in the mid-afternoon, and then we'd open another bottle. One day, we took the convertible and drove to the secluded part of the beach. We had caviar, and Blair chopped up sauced onions and eggs and cheese, and we bought fruit and these cinnamon cookies Blair was really into, and a six-pack of tab, because that's the champagne world Blair would drink, and we'd either jog on the empty shore or try to swim in the rough surf. But I soon became disoriented, and I knew I had drunk too far much, and whenever Blair would say something, I found myself closing my eyes and sighing. The water turned cold and raging, and the sand became wet, sister's yawns, picks up his salad. I think about Blair alone in the bathroom in his stupid blanket, and the bullet says, "Disappear," and Charlie's eyes. And wonder if these Versailles people are afraid to merge in the way the pool at night looks, the lighted water glowing in the backyard. Jared walks in not with Blair's father, but with a famous bottle who doesn't take off her fur coat, and Jared doesn't take off his dark glasses. Another man my father knows, some guy from Warner Brothers, comes over to the table and wishes us a Merry Christmas. I don't listen to the conversation. Instead, I look up at my mother, who stirs into a glass, and one of my sisters tells her jug, and she doesn't get it and orders a drink. I wonder if Blessed Freya's father knows that Jared is adjacent tonight with that famous model. I hope I'll never have to do this again. We leave Jason's and the streets are empty and the air still giant hot and the wind is still blowing. On Little Santa Monica, a cot lays overturned, its window broken, and as we pass it, my sister craned the next to get a closer look, and to ask my mother who's driving to slow down, and she doesn't, and my sister complain. We drive to Jimmy's, and my brother brings the Mercedes to stop, and we get out, and the father takes it, and we all sit on the couch next to a small table in the drink and bear area. Jimmy's pretty empty, except for a few scattered couples at the bar, and another family that sits across from us, and there's nobody in the bar. The piano player's singing some Nimmer song, and he sings softly. My father complained that he should be playing Christmas carols. My sisters go to the restroom, and when they come back, they tell us that they saw Liz at one of the stalls. My mother said she doesn't get it. I start to flirt with the oldest girl from the family across us,